Real Path to 9/11. Ebook, Real Path to 9/11 from Trafford Publishing, USA. Exactly proved why 9/11 attack on USA was a military coup, and not only military coup, it was militarily re-annexing the United States of America for the United British Empire, so that they can use the military and the money to colonize the world in peacetime. Everything happened since 9/11. They are signs for that. Now, there were no physical hijackers. I said that again and again. There were no physical hijackers. Those planes were hijacked remotely by the military, just like drones. All the NASA flights to Moon and Mars and everything, they are nothing but drones, all being controlled. And same thing true with all the other drones, the CIA drones. Drones have been running all around. And the drone that flew to Australia in April of 2001, that was controlled all from the Edwards Air Force Base, California. So any other plane can be accessed as drones, but for that they needed help. They needed help from FAA, and FAA laid down all the WAS/LAS technology for them, and also the DGPS system, so that they can accurately do that. Not only that, they also did all the testing at the Edwards Air Force Base, California, using NASA and Boeing expertise and specialists for a long time, long before 9/11. So everything was there. What was the first sign that the 9/11 planes were remotely hijacked? The first sign of remote hijacking was when the pilots of the Flight 175 told ground control, "We heard a suspicious transmission on our departure out of Boston. Someone keyed in the mic and said, 'Everyone stay in your seats.' It cut out." That was testing from remote hijackers, confirming they can take over primary channel along with the cockpit microphone. The very fact that all hijacked airplanes lost their transponders before any of the pilots could press "We have been hijacked" to inform ground control only emphasizes the point that all 9/11 planes were hijacked remotely. Now the next question is that, how do we know that those planes were hijacked remotely by the military? After President Bush finished the pet goat reading in Florida, he wanted to come back immediately after knowing all about Twin Towers and all the other issues. But Vice President Dick Cheney warned President Bush that hijackers had access to the transponder of Air Force One, suggesting hijackers were capable of remote hijacking even Air Force One, and that could be done only by the military. And to add fuel to the fire, Vice President Dick Cheney, who along with Donald Rumsfeld and Richard Clark, part of the shadow government since 1980 Reagan-Bush administration, they took over, and he ordered specifically not to fire missiles from Pentagon to stop Flight 77 hitting Pentagon. Here is the testimony from the Transportation Secretary Norman Mineta. During the time that airplane was coming into the Pentagon, there was a young man who would come in and say to the Vice President, the plane is 50 miles out, the plane is 30 miles out, and when it got to the plane is 10 miles out, the young man also said to the Vice President, do the orders still stand? And the Vice President said, of course the orders still stand. Have you heard anything to the contrary? Smoking gun. So now there shouldn't be any doubt that 9/11 hijackings were done by the military, and the destruction of the World Trade Center was done by heavy explosive, all were for a week or so, all three buildings, and they were taken down to have the terror and scare, and then that big lie. And big lie always sustains. Our world is now full of lies, and no one wants to believe what I have been saying for so long. I'm just trying my best to take the truth to the world so that we can all live in peace and harmony. This is the best time in the world. This is the best time commercially, technologically, scientifically, culturally, to have a wonderful life, everybody together. We have enough of everything. But few people don't want that. And that is why they are trying to confuse everybody. They are at such power level and totally immune to the laws and the media. Because media became part of them. Media did not cover Bilderberg effort since 1954. Why? Why the private media moguls won't cover Bilderberg activities for their own world, totally in secret, only decided by the very rich people and the monarchs and some of the very evangelical people of Vatican. And that needs to be exposed so that we can have eternal peace and happiness on earth. This is a beautiful place to live. We don't need the terror. All the terrors can go if we bring them to justice, open justice. Open justice will have peace and harmony. If we really apply all the existing laws we have without discriminating, then we don't need all this very expensive overhead of covert intelligence, counterintelligence, all this business. And that is the thing they don't want, because they have the power, they have the money, and they want to run the world in that way. But we the people can always run it best, celebrating cultural plurality at its best. And that is what I want. That's why I have been campaigning so hard. God bless America. God bless all citizens.